Hello and welcome back. It's another week. I will say this podcast a little bit later being released. Been quite busy actually over the last few days. So in all fairness, I've not really had a great deal of time to sit and record. So I will apologise for that. But when things have got to be done, unfortunately, we've got to try and take care of them, haven't we? I hope everyone is doing okay and you've had the best week you possibly can. Mine's been a bit of a mixed bag, but on the whole, it's not been too bad. I'll be totally honest; it's not been awful. Um, what I've got to start with, I think, this week is how gutted I am. I was actually going to record this podcast out in the garden. I was really keen to sit out in the garden. It's quite warm outside and chat to you from there. But I couldn't really seem to make it work, to be honest. So I'm going to have to look into that a little bit, and I'll figure out how to make it work. But here I am, sat in the shed slash studio slash just about every other room it could possibly be. Um, I'm going to start really by talking about how things have been for me over the last week or so, in terms of how I've been going with regards to the MS. There's been a few issues. Nothing. Again, I'm going to float this out there. Nothing new. It's nothing new. It's all stuff that just seems to be a bit of an accumulation of stuff. And I'm going to be straight. I've done it again. I've been overdoing things. I think I've got to try and stop saying to myself, "Oh, you've got to stop overdoing things." I don't think I'm ever going to stop. I'm going to be honest. I've got to just carry on doing the best I can and deal with things as they come along. Now, fatigue has been absolutely kicking my backside. It really has. The smallest little bits and pieces that I'm getting done. And I'm shattered, absolutely exhausted. And it's not the sort of tired where you've been at work all day and whatever else. No, it's nothing like that. It literally is. It's a whole level of tired that I've never really known. It's kicking my backside, like I say. And I need to try and figure out how to deal with that. Well, that leads on to my next thing. I'd had to be in touch with the doctors. I got in touch with them back end of last week. They got in touch with me today to let me know that they've signed me off again for another month. And what they've also done is they've booked me an appointment with the doctor because of the fatigue. Now, bear with me, because once I've dealt with the fatigue, I will explain everything else that's been going on. Now, what they're doing, they're getting me in and they're going to try and see if there's anything they can actually give me to help fight the fatigue a little bit. Because we know there's things out there that can do it. There is one thing in particular that I've got in my mind that I think they're probably going to try and put me on. That's fine. I'm happy to give almost anything a go, to be fair, because I don't like this aspect. I'll be totally fair. So fingers crossed, once I've had that meeting with the doctors, it's going to be Monday, so a week for a telephone appointment. Yep. No words need to be said on that one, I suppose. But yeah, so I'll have the appointment, see what happens, and we shall go from there. Fingers crossed there's something they can do to try and give me a bit of support on it. Don't get me wrong, I know full well they're not going to completely eradicate it, but a little bit of help is all I'm asking for. In terms of how other bits and pieces have been, what I've been getting, and I've mentioned it a few times recently, is these sort of shock feelings on my face. Now, I'll be honest, they are really strange. really strange, because what it feels like at times is literally somebody just sort of comes past me. And then when you're kids, there's a little thing you do where you sort of poke each other in the side and what have you. And you do that as you're flying past. You sort of run past, zap, gone. To an extent, this is how the issue with my face is feeling, whereby it feels like it's a cattle prod rather than just a little zap from your brother or your sister. And it does. It just feels like someone sort of just runs past, zaps my face with a cattle prod, and carries on going. Yeah, it is as strange as it sounds. I'll be honest with you, it really is. But it comes and goes. It's not regular. It's there. It's not there. It's there. It's not there. Pretty much like a lot of MS symptoms. I'm going to be honest. In terms of my mobility, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to not feel really bad for it. Oh my word. The Fez machine. It's given me a whole new lease of life when I've got that thing on and I'm out and about. It's incredible. Absolutely fantastic. And I know I've said this, and I don't want to sort of go too far with it, but genuinely, that thing, when you've got it on, is unreal. The help it is giving me and the confidence it's giving me to actually walk. And again, it's not letting me walk any further than I would normally. That's a fact. I'm still walking just a few meters before really I should be stopping. That's fine. Because when I am walking, I'm walking confidently. I'm walking as if I'm not going to fall over. Which, let's be fair, a lot of my previous walking over the last, I couldn't tell you how long. Actually, I've just been feeling like, just get your balance, keep your balance, make sure you don't fall. This Fez, unreal. Absolutely unreal. In terms of my legs themselves, when I'm not wearing that, wow, I'm struggling a bit. I'm going to be honest. In terms of pain, my left knee over the last couple of days has been nothing short of awful. It's been very, very painful. That's me, where I've been overdoing things. Perfectly fine. I get that. That's on me. My right leg, again, I mean, it's the same as it always is. I've such a little amount of feeling, it's unreal. Again, I've got quite significantly reduced feeling in my left. My right, mega reduced. My back has been particularly bad. My lower back. But again, I'm just carrying on. I'm literally just carrying on. It's a struggle. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is easy, because it really isn't. It's a struggle. But you know what? I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm doing it the best I can, and dealing with the after effects after. Now, what I don't want to do, I don't want to turn this episode into me completely bleating on and moaning about things, because actually there's a lot of positives going on as well. There really is. And that's kind of where I want to focus. I want to focus on positives, because, do you know what? Negatives, I could sit here for a month non-stop talking about them. I'm not playing that game. I really don't want to play that game. So, in terms of the positives, I've already mentioned it. The Fez machine. I've may possibly have planted another couple of plants and about 3,000 seeds. Yeah, that might have happened. No, it did happen. So hopefully over the next few weeks, I'm going to have some more flowers coming up in the garden. I've also got a new aloe vera plant currently sat in the bathroom. And I've also got a snake plant sat in the living room. Both of them lovely. Really, really nice. For once, I'm not guilty of them arriving, but we're not going to go into that. There's no point. But they look nice. They look really nice. And to be honest with you, again, I mean, I've been over this no end of times in the past. I absolutely love getting out in the garden and just tinkering about with the plants and whatever else. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Seeing the new lilies that have gone in, beautiful. They've opened up. They're absolutely gorgeous. One of the roses we bought not so long ago, it's actually got different colour flowers. There's different colour flowers on it, and it is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Really like it. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'll be honest, a very, very big fan. I've started reading a book. It's a book I actually read many, many years ago, and I'm not going to go right into details and everything, but it's a fantastic one. It's Andromeda Strain, and as I say, it's a very, very old book, but it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Satellite comes down in Piedmont. They find it, and the people in the town, yeah, they're not very well. Not very well at all. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it in case anyone else decides to read it. But it is absolutely superb. Highly recommend it. As I say, it is a book I read many, many years ago. Give it a go. We're also finishing off decorating the house. It's just mine and Lisa's room to go now. So over the next couple of days, we're going to try and get that finished with, I would say, some incredible help, but actually all I am is the not so able assistant, shall we say. I try my best. I give it the best I can, and yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, if it comes out like every other room, it's going to be superb. So yeah, that's where we are with that one. I mean, for me personally, and I'm sort of going to go into a little bit of how MS has changed things for me in a minute. I'm going to do that. But all of this positive change is just, I mean, again, it's things that just put the mind in a really nice place. And for that, that's where things are going to carry on pushing and carry on going. Bear with me. I've just got a bit of my lemon and lime water to drink, because lemon and lime water is absolutely beautiful. Those of you on YouTube may have just noticed I just tried to drink some of my lemon and lime water with the cap still on. Oh my word. It's nice, that. Lesson for next time. Take the cap off the bottle. I can't believe I just did that. There you go. That's life. That's one of those things. But I'm sort of going to go into now how things have changed and what I'm doing. Because in all fairness, things have changed drastically. And well, we all know that. I mean, I've been over things in the past, how my employment status changed quite drastically. I've been a working man my entire life, and now I'm not, for now. But there is irons in the fire on that one. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I mean, I've gone from working regularly, full time, sometimes two jobs. I mean, I know I've very, very basically touched on it in the past, but yeah, I mean, on top of the daytime security work, I used to be a door supervisor, a bouncer, which is strange when I'm only like 5'6", but I held me home. I think I did okay. I did that for quite a few years as well. So I worked two jobs. Again, now, because of MS, I'm actually not even working one job, which is strange. It really is strange. I mean, things have sort of changed quite drastically in that respect because I'm trying to figure out this new life of not being at work when actually all I really want to do is get up in the morning, go to work, and at the end of the month, have my pay turn up and know that I'm providing for my family. Now, Lisa's doing an incredible job. She's out there working. She's doing brilliantly. But for me, that change, I'm still struggling with it. I've got to say that. I really am still struggling with the thought process of not working. As I said, there is irons in the fire. I'm going to very loosely touch on it because I put in an application actually last night. It's one of the reasons I didn't record this podcast yesterday, was because I was busy on top of doing other bits and pieces. I also did this application. And all I will say currently is the application is to join the civil service. Not something I ever thought I would do. But you know what? I really hope it comes off. I would love to get that job. Absolutely would love to get that job. So, I've got another bit to fill in. Either this evening, maybe tomorrow afternoon, I shall sit and fill in the little test that I need to do. And sit back, cross my fingers, and hope for the best. Because again, that's another thing that MS has changed. That's another change. Because I've gone from being in the security industry for 20 years to doing, I'm going to say nothing, but I can't class nothing because actually this podcast, and I've kind of neglected the social media a little bit recently. And that's not because I want to, it's because actually I kind of, a bit of the thought process, what do people want to listen to me for? So I need to get myself back in that headspace and just sort of start talking to people again in that respect. But yeah, I mean, this podcast I kind of do see as a bit of a job because all week I am sitting and thinking, right, okay, what can I talk about this week? What can I try and explain to people? What can I try and help with by talking about what I've got going on in the hope that actually that's going to help somebody else? Because the be all and end all, this podcast is incredible for me to get things off my head. You know, if I've got an issue, I can sit and talk about it. And all right, I'm sat, I'm talking to a microphone, I'm talking to my mobile phone, but actually I'm sat here just getting things off my head, which is a good thing. Again, it's changed things like, and I'd stopped it anyway, but I stopped the football really because I couldn't run. I'd try and run and I'd fall over because my legs weren't there. They didn't work. They weren't carrying me like they were supposed to. So again, it's changed that. It's changed my ability to walk properly. Can't do it. I literally can't do it. You know, I can get a few meters and then my legs hurt. It's uncomfortable. Like I say, it's much better now with the Fez machine. But it's also changed the fact that I'm wearing that Fez machine. So I've got wires running up and down my leg. I've got, when I lift my heel off the floor, I've got that sort of electrical stimulation going into my leg. Big change. Lots and lots of big changes. Which I'm going to be straight. There's only one way that I can deal with that stuff. And that's by just getting my head down and carrying on. Yeah, that does include overdoing it. Yeah, that does include doing the best I can to get through the pain barrier. Trust me when I tell you that is not easy. But it also means not giving in to that pain when it's there. Because for me, the only way I can actually keep myself ticking over as me is literally being me. I don't know how else I can put it, if I'm honest. There is not really much else I can say. I just have to keep being me. And I have to keep being positive. And that's not necessarily easy, because at times these days, I must admit, I do get a bit negative. Probably need to work that out a little bit. More than probably, or absolutely certainly need to kind of work that out a little bit. But even so, again, they're the sort of things, there's plenty of others, but again, I would be sat here for, I can't tell you how long. It's impossible to know, but I would be sat here for so long, it's unreal, if I tried to explain exactly what there is going on. It just wouldn't be worth it to me or to you. But again, MS has done all of this stuff, and it will continue to do this stuff. I mean, it's a progressive condition. I'm not daft. It's a progressive condition. Mine especially is primary progressive. So let's be fair. I know what's coming. I know what's happening. But I'm doing everything I can to sort of work it so that I'm not giving in and I'm not allowing that to take control. It'll have its day. Perfectly fine. I understand that. You can't win every fight. But there's also going to be times where I will just say, do you know what, not today. I've got stuff to do. I'm carrying on, and I'll deal with the after effects at the end of the day. Well, I think I've probably ranted off a little bit too much today. So I will apologise for that. But again, this is one of those times where you've got stuff to get off your brain. Get it off your brain. Because once it's out there in the world, it's out there in the world. And I hope you can all see and hear the fact that I am doing what I can to be positive. And my recommendation to anyone, as best you can, try to stay positive. It's not easy. Believe me, I understand that. I know it's not easy. But try your best. Because at the end of the day, all you've actually got is yourself, your family, your friends, and your life. And to allow this to, for me, if I allowed this to cause my life the problems it could possibly cause, no, not to me. Not going that route. Right. I will speak to you in a week's time. I will do all I can to actually get podcast out on time. So please bear with me. Like I say, I do have a lot on currently. But I'm pushing. Get that done and get everything back as it should be. Well, have a good week. And I will speak to you all soon. See you later. Bye-bye.